Okay, boys and girls, I want to draw your attention here to my chart about text features. Now, when we're reading, sometimes in the text, which is how the story is written, the actual visual part of how the story is written, we have some text features. And they present important parts of the story in a different way, the visual representation of how the story is presented to us. And there's different things about it. And the punctuation could be an ellipse. Oh, remember in SSM we had ellipses? Who remembers what an ellipse looks like? Do you remember what the ellipses look like? Remember an ellipse looks like this? An ellipse, oh, that's the wrong thing. An ellipse is what? It's like an oval. Ellipses are like ovals, or like that. They can be like that. So we have ovals, so we can have an ellipse. We can have dashes and colons, and they can indicate important text will follow. So when we see things like that, we know that there's important text. So the author is trying to draw our attention to that text. When we see things like that, we know that they want us to really pay attention. It's something that draws our eyes to that text. The other things that are in the text features, we have special kinds of type. Oh, look how that word is in bold. And they can show emphasis, or sometimes it's a title, because sometimes within a text there's like subheadings or special headings or titles. And it could be bold-based. Look how this is in bold. Do you see how that's in really dark letters? We call that bold-based because it's bold, stands out. Or it could all be in capital letters. Have you ever seen that in a text that you're reading where everything is in capital letters? They want that to stand out for you to really notice it, because it's something important that they want you to notice when it's all in capital letters. That's almost like yelling. When it's all in capital letters, they want that to stand out. It should stand out to you. And then sometimes there's this fancy writing called italic letters or italicized letter, italics. Have you ever seen this? And it's kind of slanted to the right. Have you ever seen writing like that where the letters are slanted to the right? That's italicized writing or italics. And then sometimes the letters are large. Sometimes they're super small. What do you think they would be doing if the letters were written really small? What would somebody be doing? Yes?
Maybe whispering?
Maybe whispering. Yes, Teddy, very good. That might be a character might be whispering. And then letters could be written in color, like all these are written in color. All those are to draw your eye and for you to really notice them when it's like this. So we can have letters that are really bold. These letters are really bold and thick, written in all capitals. Usually if somebody writes something all in capitals, remember they're shouting. Then italicized ones, they really want you to notice something. Now, we also have graphic features. Graphics are things like maybe pictures or charts or tables. So here, so graphic features are visuals such as illustrations, which is a picture, a chart, a diagram. So graphic features are visuals such as illustrations, diagrams, maps, and speech bubbles that help explain ideas in the text. So, oh, here are some speech bubbles. He's saying blah, 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 blah. That is a graphic feature. These are speech bubbles. And then here, we've got a map. A map is a graphic feature. Do you see that? Who here reads a graphic novel? A graphic novel would be like Dogman. What are some other graphic novels that would have speech bubbles in them? Jensen?
One's by Rain on Sunflower.
Yes. What's another one?
Maybe Last Kids on Earth, or maybe sometimes Wings of Fire.
Yes. Do they have speech bubbles in them like that?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of them. So those would be examples of graphic novels. Things by, Captain Underpants. Those are graphic novels. So those have the speech bubbles. And so when we see these specific text features, they are telling us that important information is there. When we see the dashes, the ellipses, the colons, we know a colon is this. I'm going to show you what one is. When you see it like this, and it goes like this, and then you have information after that. Have you ever seen like the two dots together?
Yeah.
That's a colon. And then you have information after that. So we're going to look in our story, yes.
When I go to guitar, that's what they have for the repeat. They do.
Oh yes, that's a repeat in reading music, yes. So when we see that, and we're going to look in our story, maybe we'll see it in our story today, okay? So we are going to be looking for some text features today. So I want you to have your paper, and we are going to be looking on page, we're going to specialize today, and I want you to be on page 82 and 83 of Scaredy, Squirrel. Okay, page 82 and 83. So remember that the text features are there to emphasize certain ideas in the text. And graphic features help explain certain ideas in the text. So we're going to skip just to page 82 and 83 right now. So let's look. Let's look on pages 82 and 83. Oh, this is one of my favorite pages in the book. I love this page. I love these two pages. So let's look and see what we have here. Okay, boys and girls? I want to give you a minute to read these two pages. So everybody, let's read these two pages. Let's see what we have. So we have on page 82, everybody put your eyes in the book. And it says, advantages of never leaving the nut tree. Everybody, let's read that. It is called a diagram. So let's read the diagram. It says, great view, plenty of nuts, safe place, no, and then it lists all the things he's afraid of. And then let's look at, and then we have on the bottom, in Scaredy Squirrel's nut tree, every day is the same. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the same. And then look where it says disadvantages of never leaving the nut tree. Same old view, same old nuts, same old place. Okay? Everything is predictable, all is under control. That's what we have. So every day is the same, everything is predictable, all is under control. So, I want you to look at the two diagrams. What do the two diagrams on pages 82 and 83 compare and contrast? Compare is how they say they're the same. Contrast is how they say they are different. Teddy?
They're the same because they both have all the same things, just like different meanings, and then they're different because it's advantages and disadvantages
Of what?
of never leaving the nut tree.
Yeah, so that's what that is what they are telling us, right? That's what Scaredy Squirrel has got in his diagrams here. The advantages and disadvantages of never leaving the nut tree. So let's write that. Thank you very much, Teddy. You are exactly right. It is the advantages and disadvantages of never leaving the nut tree. So the advantages and disadvantages of never leaving the nut tree. Okay, does everyone have that? The advantages and disadvantages of never leaving the nut tree. Now what we need to figure out is, what does each diagram list? What does each diagram list? Libby? Yeah, and what are those? What could we consider those to be? What are those? Those are things he's scared of on the one. And what about on the other one? What's a general thing we could call those? Those are his reasons to do what? Yes?
Stay in the nut tree.
Those are his reasons to stay. And on the other page, those are his reasons to do what? Yes? Leave. So let's say reasons to stay or leave the nut tree. Reasons to stay or leave the nut tree. Okay, now, why, when we look at the diagrams, according to the diagrams, why might Scaredy Squirrel stay in the nut tree? Why might he stay in the nut tree? Jensen?
Avoid all the tarantulas, poison ivy, green Martians, killer bees, germs, and sharks.
Yes, because there's more reasons in the, because then he can avoid all the things he's afraid of. He can avoid all the things he's afraid of. Now, how do the illustrations at the bottom of page 82 and 83 help readers understand the text below the illustrations? So look at the text below the illustrations. It says, in Scaredy Squirrel's nut tree, every day is the same. Everything is predictable. All is under control. So how do the illustrations look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? How do they help you understand the text? I'm waiting for a different hand to go up other than the same two people who are answering all the three people who are answering all the questions. Anybody have an idea? Same people are answering the questions. Libby?
Because you know that you could do the same thing every day.
It's what? What word is it that we used in our vocab? It's predictable, right? And when it's predictable, it makes them feel. How do you think that makes them feel when it's predictable? It makes them feel what? It makes them feel when things are always the same and you're afraid of things and things are predictable, so you feel like you can tell them you feel. How do you think he feels?
Protected.
Protected or
Safe.
safe? I think you probably feel safe would be correct. You might feel. So sorry. So it feels safe. So let's say the nut tree is exactly the same, so the nut tree never changes. The nut tree never changes. We'll say, so life is predictable for life is predictable so Scaredy, Squirrel feels safe. Okay, so let's do that. I think that's what we were saying, and that wraps it up into one nice sentence. A nice sentence. Now we have to answer the questions about pages 84 and 85. So let's look at pages 84 and 85. Did everybody get this? Okay, let's give you a minute or so to check, to finish writing that. Okay, let's go to the next page. Pages. Okay, so now let's look at pages 84 and 85. Which words on this page stand out from the other words on page 85, which words stand out from the other words? So look on page 84 and 85, which words stand out on page 85? Mikey,
But.
any other word?
And did.
And did, but and did, we're at number 5. So but, and it's written all in caps, right? But, and did. And how are they different from the other words? Elisa, how are they different from the other words? What is different about them? What is different about the word but? Look at the word but. How is that different from all the other words on the page? How does it look different to you? How is it written different? Does it look the same as all the other words? Okay, it's all in capitals. Anything else about it? Is it the same size? No, so it's bigger and it's all in capitals. So let's write, but is bigger and in capital letters. Did, Ethan, look at the word did. What's different about the word did?
It's capitals or capital.
It's all in capitals. Did is, oh, I should have written it all in capitals there. Sorry, boys and girls. I should have written the word did all in capitals because that's how it's written. Did is in all capitals. Thank you, Ethan. Is in all capital. Letters. Okay, very good. So that's all in capital letters. Now, let's write that, and then we have to think. Oh, sorry, that's all one question. That's still question 5. So now we have to figure out, why did the author change the words like that? So why do you think the author changed those words, made those words bigger, put them all in caps? Why? Why do you think the author did that? Just for fun? Because they wanted to have fancy font like that? Yes, you could just write number 6 on the back because I made a mistake and wrote a number 6. So you could just write a number 6 on the back because I made a mistake and labeled it as number 6. So why do you think the author did that? Why do you think the author decided to change these words? Yes, Kelsey.
Because he doesn't say them a lot.
He doesn't say them a lot? You think that's it? What do you think, boys and girls? Jensen, what do you think?
And it stands out at the start of the sentence.
To make them stand out, but they didn't make other words stand out at the start of the sentence.
Maybe because but let's say comma, maybe it's like if there's no comma.
Well, I don't know. Maybe, I'm thinking that maybe the author did that to show an important change in his ideas, that he's prepared in case something goes wrong. Right? Just in case something goes wrong, that he's prepared. That Scaredy Squirrel, to show that Scaredy Squirrel is really prepared if something goes wrong. So we're really seeing that he's prepared if something happens. Okay, now when you're done with those, you can put them in your folder.